Hello, and welcome to the Quad Down Pod. I'm your host for this evening, K.I. Coaster Guy. I'm joined by Josh from Station Wake. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited for our guest. Haven't seen him in a long time.
Too.
Excited to chat again.
Absolutely. Taylor, we've got Flighted Taylor here with us as usual. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Larry?
Hey, I'm fantastic. I'm also excited about the show today. We've got lots of great stuff to talk about. And we've got Bryant from Coaster365 here with us, who puts on the Coaster Madness tournament every year for everybody and also does coaster reviews on YouTube. Were you really doing that every day?
Yeah, you minimized that, Larry. He put out a video every day last
every
year.
day.
I was there for some of his filming, and he described the process to me. It was insane.
Yeah, every day.
Kudos to you.
Are you going to do that again?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a lot. And no, I did not actually physically do a review every single day. I didn't go to a park,
right?
On roller coaster, leave, and come back the next day. I would do, entire park over the course of 1 to 2 days.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot. It was really a goal I had since I created my Twitter account in 2018, where I just did a tweet every day about it.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I didn't really have the networking of knowing other people or
right.
I still had very limited skills, technology wise. To be fair, I still do. So finally in 2022, I said, okay, we're going to do this for 2023. I started filming in June of 22 because I definitely wanted to get ahead of the game a little bit. So I had about 3 months worth of reviews already.
Okay.
In the bank before I even launched the channel, which was kind of daunting because I was filming reviews without any kind of feedback or anything.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was just a matter of okay, I gotta go to another park. I need to fill 10 to 14 days here and hopefully hit the 365, which thankfully I did. So
congratulations. Yeah, I saw when at Wildcat Media Day,
yes,
there were kids coming up to you wanting to be in your review.
That
must
crazy,
have been cool.
Yeah. It's still
nice
weird
stuff.
to be recognized occasionally. I wouldn't say, but every now and then it's hey, I know you. I'm like, what? Really?
I get that occasionally too. Yeah, it's really interesting. So coming off your 365, obviously you took some time off because that was a huge project. You're shifting into different kinds of YouTube content. What was the decision process like there? I mean, obviously you're fundamentally changing your entire niche in the niche of coasters. So how did you come to that? What do you want to do next? That kind of stuff.
It was definitely daunting. It definitely took some time. I even made a community note the last month saying it was hard getting the motivation back because you accomplish a pretty significant goal and it's now what?
Right.
And it's now I kind of said towards the end of the year, well, it's gonna be more of a variety channel where I can do a lot more at home videos, with Mike, which I had never done before. So how am I gonna pull that off? So I always plan on taking about 2 to 3 months off, other than a few POVs here and there. I went on a cruise in January. I did the review of the cruise roller coaster.
Same ship.
And literally it was just in the last few weeks I started making some at home videos, which I've put out 2 so far. Basically, still playing off the 365 reviews that I did, kind of recapping a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So far the response has been awesome. So I'm actually
awesome,
very encouraged now to keep going and to keep making more videos.
I need to get back on it.
It's just basically gonna. Excuse me. It's whatever ideas pop into my head, essentially going forward, and hopefully making a good video about it while still doing. If I hit new, roller coasters, I'm still going to do the standard review style that I did last year too. So
sure.
So you're going to re-review Predator after more Titan track since you got a terrible ride on it, right?
I got an okay ride. I wouldn't say I got a terrible ride.
I don't know. The weather that day was you messaged me. You're like, yeah, I'm at Darien Lake for the next 2 hours. I'm like, dude, this is the worst weather to give that park a chance.
Well, we rushed through.
I know.
There, so
you've just been there the one time?
Yeah, for 3 hours.
Okay.
Because we did Darien, Niagara and Marineland all in the same day.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
It was a lot, yeah.
I still can't believe that on Wildcats Media Day, you were like, all right, I gotta go. I'm driving to Kings Island now.
I forgot about that.
Like, what?
What?
Like, I just came from there. That was not a fun drive.
I didn't need to. It was more. It weirdly became a stupid challenge for me. Like, can I do this?
What you got there though, right? You got there. Before
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
I got on
To be
Orion,
fair-
Beast, Mystic. It was a pretty, full night.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
it was
And then
cooler at Kings
I was
Island.
going to be at Kings Island that whole weekend, so I knew I was going there regardless. So
Are you coming this year?
I hope maybe.
Yeah, let us know if you do.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have Hollywood Nights tickets, but I might crash the after parties afterwards. Maybe, I don't know yet.
The after party is nice.
Yeah.
Before we get
Okay.
into the news, a little more encouragement for you to keep going with your new stuff. Both of your new videos showed up on my recommended on my personal YouTube account, not my Station Weight account.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
you're
That's
doing something
awesome.
good
Oh
with
my
the
gosh.
algorithm. They're popping off.
Cool.
Yeah, my last video was my most watched video of any.
Oh, that's
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's an
Including
awesome
any review
feeling. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
get that
so-
1 out of 10 in studio, and you're like, yeah. And then your
Yeah.
next upload's like 4 out of 10. You're like,
The best
"Aw."
feeling. The best.
Yeah, it is the best
It
feeling,
really
and then
is,
and then you chase that,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
it always takes longer than you want to get that to happen again. But yeah,
Especially, I'm sure you know, Josh. Especially maybe the first 12 hours you posted, it's like, oh, it's doing okay. And then you go to bed and you wake up the next morning, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what are all
Yeah,
these?
I would always get views and subscribers when I first started out. For some reason, I was consistently getting a certain amount of subscribers per day. And then I'd go to bed and it would double what I was doing during the day
Mhm.
overnight. I'm like, where did that come from? Who's
Well,
watching this
complaining.
video? Yeah, exactly.
well, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad that's going well. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
we've got some just a few news items here today
Just-
to go through.
a couple.
One of the big ones here, the claims of Marineland's death, apparently greatly exaggerated. It's
yeah,
not
we
going
false
away.
reported
Yeah.
on that. Well, we said maybe. We
no,
did
we
put
didn't.
a
We said
disclaimer.
maybe. We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did disclaim.
So what did they come out and?
Literally 4 hours after we recorded last week, a Reddit
Oh,
post
that's cool.
and a tweet. Yeah, literally immediately after we recorded.
I wonder why they took so why did they leave that
Yeah.
hanging in the air for
They
so
don't have
long?
a PR department as far as
Yeah.
I can tell. If you go on most parks websites, it'll be Media Center and you can click for articles and media contests. They don't have that. I looked for that when the rumors went out so I could reach out and be like, "Hey, is this happening?" And they just don't have a media contact at all.
Yeah.
That's
good,
insane.
good for them. Well, they're still alive, so I guess that means no Hershend yet. Or-
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh.
They could still be bought out. They don't have to die.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
I don't see them being bought out unless they close, because that means if they close, somebody has to take the animals off their hands. If they get bought, whoever buys them has to deal with the animals,
Right.
most likely. So it's kind of a vicious cycle of
What did you
Marineland
think
suffering.
about that place when you were there, Brian?
That was the eeriest park that I've.
Yeah.
There's so much land, so many paths of just nothing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
It looks crazy.
sign. Oh, the rides are this way, and you're still a half a mile away.
Oh wow.
That's
You,
crazy.
you stumble upon a deer park with 200 deer in there, just I don't know doing what, and then there was the bear pit.
The
It was
pit.
The bear pit.
The
it was
bear
both sad, eerie.
Yeah, it's like a pit with bears in it.
Yeah.
I've never been there, but I've seen videos of it. It's
Yeah, I
depressing.
too. It looks like you could. I've heard a lot of people say you can walk for a while without seeing anybody when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's weird.
it takes a good 20-25 minutes from the front entrance to get to Dragon Mountain.
Taylor, doesn't that sound like an ADA success right there?
It sounds wonderful for 88.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the bear pit right now, and I'm
Oh yeah, you
Sorry.
can't say bear pit.
It's not
Or
really
I'm so confused.
I know, but I just love that bear pit.
Yeah.
Bear pit. What?
Yeah, but
okay.
Marineland's here for another year. That's really all there is to say
Bad.
about that.
Yeah, there's not really much else to say.
Yeah.
We've got the past perks for Cedar Fair parks. They've been working on this for a while, like testing things. So now it sounds like they've got it a little bit more set in not in stone, but they've got like an actual perks now.
Out of curiosity, what tier of pass do we all have?
I have gold with all parks.
I haven't gotten my pass yet.
Larry.
Yeah, I still haven't done
it. Mine.
Yeah.
Only pass I
Diamondback's watching.
What do you have, Bryant?
Currently, C's is the only pass I have.
Me too!
There we go.
And I'm going on the Carnival Mardi Gras in 2 weeks. Me and Bryant, same cloth right now.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'll definitely get mine as well. I'm going to get at guaranteed Darien Lake, probably all Six Flags parks. And then I'm going to get all park passport, probably gold for Cedar Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, same. So it looks like with this, you're going to get a mystery perk if you visit once, and then visit twice. Popcorn / pretzel deals.
It's not like set in stone. It's just like some like.
This is from CP Food Blog, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of funny
I didn't feel like going in and signing in to like knots and stuff to actually see. I was like, oh, okay, this is what they said. I'm going to trust them because they're usually pretty good.
It's kind of funny to me. Because the visiting twice being popcorn and pretzel deals implies that the visiting once mystery is going to be worse than a popcorn and pretzel deal.
Yeah, it doesn't.
In my opinion, a popcorn and pretzel deal is like nothing.
The visit 3 times wasn't much better than buying a popcorn and getting one for 25% off. Like it.
Meanwhile, at C's, it's like, oh, every 4 months you just get 2 free tickets to give to somebody, and like,
yeah, I mean, you get those like bring a friend tickets and stuff, which is I know that's not as good, but yeah, they started this pass perks thing like a couple of years ago, and I've never felt like it really worked. Like I'll just get a random email, and I never think about them or never use them or anything.
Yeah, has anybody used their pass perk?
I never have. No.
I think I used one once, or I wanted to use it, and then it just didn't work. I don't remember. But like, last year I kept getting food, like 10% off Coney Barbecue, and I have a food pass, so I was like,
yeah,
when am I going to use this?
Yeah, I'd get like 10% off that, or like 10% off merch, which didn't stack with my 15% off prestige discount. I'm like, why would I ever use this?
Why would I use that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
that's
like,
funny.
The minimum discount you can get on merch with a pass is 10%. So why would I get a 10% discount that doesn't stack with my 10% discount? Like, why would I ever use that?
Sure.
It's pointless.
Okay, so that's, I mean, really nothing too much to say about that. But we've got something at Dorney Park. It looks like, Josh, what's going on there?
Dorney Park is doing Iron Menace charity event for the Eagles Autism Foundation. It's going to be on April 19th, 2 days after Media Day. So they're really, when we had Ryan on a few weeks, about a month ago maybe, he was really nailing home that they want to like put out events as soon as they can to get this ride going.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be 3 tiers, ranging in price from $75 up to $250. Basically what you get at each tier, obviously you pay more, you get more. The top tier, I think you get like a meet and greet with some Eagles players. The middle tier, you get a meet and greet with cheerleaders. You get to ride Iron Menace at every tier. And of course, all the profits go to the Eagles Autism Foundation. Obviously, Dorney Park cares. Their winter chill out all went to a local charity, and this is going for charity as well.
Cool. So, and this is the preseason previews. Also, we've got 2 weekends prior to opening.
Yeah, 2 weekends prior to opening, the 27th and 28th, and then the 4th and the 5th. Anybody can go to those as long as you have either a pass or
that'll be
ticket.
Important later.
Yes, that will be very important for, I think, the next news topic.
So, with Brian, you're kind of, I can't remember where you said you were, but you're like sort of in that. Do you go to Dorney Park a lot?
I mean, I'm in Connecticut, so Dorney is like 3.5, 4 hours away. It's technically my home Cedar Fair Park.
Gotcha.
But no, I've only been to Dorney 3 times in my life, so.
I saw your review of that with Jen just busting into frame constantly, like, Dorney Park!
That
Good
was one
stuff.
of my like required guests. There was no other
You
person that
can't.
had to
Yeah,
be
of course. You
Yeah.
have to.
No.
You have to. So Cedar Point news. I thought this was the most interesting bit is that they've shown off the signage for Top Thrill 2 and it looks good.
It
really
looks
nice.
so
Really
good.
good.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the backlighting behind it, and it's like metal.
I'm imagining like because that midway, I know they fixed a lot of the drainage, but that midway like gets wet.
Mhm.
So I'm imagining like after a rainstorm rolls through, sun has just gone down, so it's a little light, and then you walk like past Speed Zone and you see those signs. That'll be gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought
It's
the
gonna-
signs were like before Speed Zone.
They have. I read the blog once. There's some signs at the entrance to that midway, and then there's some signs like at the portal. I think he
Yeah.
called it. I don't know the specific sign I'm thinking of. I don't know where it is, to be honest
Is
with
the
you.
portal those like arches? Because those look
think so.
cool. I don't know what those are, but they look cool.
I think so.
Yeah, you guys definitely have a better like spatial understanding of. I don't know where everything. I'll understand it when I see it. Like where it all is. But I'm Brian. Are you excited about that ride?
Oh, I can't wait. I'm beyond pumped for it.
Do you have plans?
The thing
of
is,
when
like,
you're...
I'm still a relatively like new enthusiast. Like 2017 was when I really first started getting into roller coasters. And while I did get the original dragster in 2018, I don't have this like 15-20 year attachment to original dragster, so I'm not about like, oh, I'm gonna miss that launch. Like I still think it's gonna be incredible. Like
Me too. Yeah.
backward, 100 miles an hour. Like
sustained 100 miles an hour too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, Dragster was cool. It was really, really cool. I mean,
Great.
I'm sorry that it's not going to be there anymore. But I mean, like under the circumstances, this is
absolutely
pretty dope. Yeah.
You've ridden Ka and Dragster, right, Brian?
Yes.
How would you compare them? I know a lot of people that have that Dragster nostalgia, like Dragster's so much better.
It was there. I mean, I did like Dragster a little better because of it's just a lap bar, and the initial launch was definitely punchier. Whereas King to Ka was more of like a gradual, like you get a kick.
Really.
It's like multiple kicks to get to 128. I did like the extra, speed hill, whatever you want to call it on Ka.
Mhm.
I did like Dragster better, but I still like King to Ka. It was never this like massive difference for me.
I haven't been on it, but I imagine like you could still get most of the experience of Dragster on Ka, or no? Like to me, they seem like they would be just remarkably similar.
It's tough for me because I've only gotten like 3 rides in Dragster, and that was almost 6 years ago at this point.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah.
So I definitely have more experience with Ka versus Dragster.
Do you
Fair
have
enough.
plans of when you're going to get out to Sandusky to ride Top Thrill 2 yet?
That, like I said, maybe if I pair Kings Island with Hollywood Nights, maybe I hit Cedar Point first.
Yeah, there you go.
And
So
just go down the Ohio coast, if you will.
So you're not going to venture into any of these mess of preview days?
No, absolutely. No.
There are quite a few. So we've got there's a charity preview April 28th from 12 to 3 p.m. Unlimited rides, $120. But it goes to charity. Do we know what charity?
I meant to write it down.
The
I will
Tony
get
Clark
back
Foundation?
Okay,
That's a joke.
not a problem. Not a problem. Now that's I got to be honest. Like, if that hasn't already, have they already started?
No, it goes
selling
on
that?
sale Wednesday.
Because
Is it Wednesday?
I'm tempted by
Yes.
that. I'm kind of
Really?
tempted by that.
Why? Out of curiosity.
Me?
Yeah.
Because that's like the most I'll probably be able to ride it like the entire year.
Okay, that's fair.
The
Yeah.
easiest
I mean, that's
ride
like-
we'll have on it
yeah.
all year.
And if you go in,
Unless
what?
if they pull a Cedar Point and sell like 15,000 tickets.
True.
Ooh.
I know that's the risk. I don't know, but I mean,
it is-
I've bought Fastlane. This is like Fastlane for the ride I would be wanting to abuse Fastlane with this year.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's for Prayers for Maria. It does go on sale on Wednesday, and you get a commemorative Top Thrill 2 gift along with complimentary food and beverage. They'll also have Power Tower, Corkscrew, Super Himalaya, and Magnum open.
Okay.
Laurel's gonna go just
Corkscrew's
for
open. I
Magnum.
gotta go now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Throw Millennium in and we got a deal. All right.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, if they built a bridge, maybe they could.
right. But then that same day, so now we finally know what the keychains do, and they will, they will allow you to also go to the preview event that same day from 4 to 8 p.m. Only can ride it once, even if you have a keychain and prestige, but it is for both keychain holders and the prestige pass, only for Cedar Point, right? So you have to have
Only
a
for
Cedar
Cedar
Point
Point.
prestige.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a very weird move to me because I feel like, let's say there's 1,000 people at Coaster Mania last year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume 20% of those are also prestige pass holders. That's 200 people that you're basically saying, yeah, your keychain was worthless.
Because of the adding the
because the redundancy.
Yeah. Oh my god, I feel bad for the people who bought one of those for like $600 on eBay.
Yeah, I mean,
When you can buy a
that
prestige
was
pass,
their own fault. Why would you buy something you
Yeah,
don't know?
yeah.
Larry,
It
weren't
literally
you
could have been a
considering
free
buying one?
T-shirt.
I wanted one, but no, I was never gonna.
Oh, okay.
I would never have considered paying that.
You
for it.
almost. After Bryant drove to Kings Island, I drove
know.
to Cedar Point that day, and I
I
was
coulda
trying to
had
convince
one, yeah.
Larry to drive to Cedar Point with me for Coaster Mania.
It was for the best.
I should
It
have
was
bought
for the best.
a
I could have
Coaster
done
Mania
it.
You would have died. You legitimately probably would have died on the way there.
Yeah, because I drove all night and then was
And it was like 95 at Hershey that day. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was so hot. But then we have even more preview events. Gold passes April 31st through May 2nd, 4 to 10 p.m. It excludes pass holders that have their pass through another park, even with the really? So
Yep.
only the Cedar Point pass holders. Okay,
Only
that
Cedar
part I
Point
didn't
pass
know. I thought it was just the
It
prestige
was
part.
added in like
Oh.
20 minutes after they posted the blog because people kept asking,
Yeah.
and Tony was answering everybody but those. Which, like, Tony doesn't make this decision. It's not Tony's fault. It just, like, would have been nice if they made it clear from the start.
Maybe when they announced it like 2 months ago, they were going to have these. Well, what's to stop you from just getting your pass from Cedar Point?
Right. Like,
It's-
Larry, you could go get your Cedar Point
just
pass
get
right
it from
now.
Cedar Point, yeah.
Well,
It's
it's significantly cheaper to get it through like Canada's Wonderland.
yeah.
Oh.
That's. I think
Even
that's the
just
idea.
within Ohio. Like,
Okay.
it's like $30 cheaper at Kings Island than Cedar Point.
I think it should be regional. I think Michigan's Adventure and Kings Island people should also be invited. Maybe Canada's Wonderland because that's relatively close to. But yeah, it's an interesting move. I know a lot of people like Laurel has Canada's Wonderland. El Toro Ryan has Canada's Wonderland. Mick Lovin told me he was trying to switch to Wonderland, but he got locked into Cedar Point, and now he's happy about that.
Yeah, I guess.
So like it's all kind of messy with like the people that really want to be there can't.
It's just really starting to finally, now that we're getting closer to this coaster opening, we've been talking about it for like well over a year. It's really starting to sink in how like we're not really going to be able to ride it very much this year.
Yeah.
It
opens in 33 days, guys.
Yeah.
They have 18 hours of gold preview.
Yes.
And they can't include all of Ohio pass holders at the least.
Yeah.
And they can't say like, oh, if you have prestige, you can also go for the gold preview.
They should have given you a way to like an upcharge way to be invited. And Ohio is like the place where it makes the most sense to get whatever they're calling it now, all parks pass. What used to be the, platinum. This is the best place to buy that.
Right. If you live in Columbus, there's no reason to not get both, even if you only go to one of them once a year. Like,
Brian, what do you think?
For like how they should do it, or
how they're handling it, how they should have handled it. If you think it should be different,
I feel like Cedar Point's always in a no-win situation with any pass announcement that they make. Like anytime they have an announcement, enthusiasts and the replies are just complaining somehow.
It's true,
right?
And I'll be honest, I'm not really in the know too much about the inner workings of especially Cedar Fair and Cedar Point, like how their pass system works. So I used to before last year, the only pass I ever had was Six Flags, like just for Six Flags New England. So and I was like very, very, very cheap, and it was not something I ever had to really think about. So
Right.
I'm probably not the best person to ask for, Cedar Point Pass opinions.
Sure. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, that's whatever it is. That is what it is. So you need to have a Cedar Point pass to be able to go. So
I do think it would suck if all the Cedar Point people got pushed out because a bunch of people from Knott's or King's Dominion were like, I'm flying into Ohio this week to go ride Top Thrill 2, and now nobody that lives in Sandusky gets to ride it. That would suck. I get that aspect of it. But
I agree. Maybe you do a all park passport day then. You still have 3 days for Cedar Point only, and then just add 1 day.
I agree
for
with you,
all-park
Josh.
passport.
They should have done something for a all park pass,
especially since that's their big thing that they're pushing this year. And I fully believe that if it was still platinum last year, you probably would have been able to get in.
Sure, I agree.
So,
you should make a note that platinum holders, so people that have their pass through the marina, they're still platinum, and they go to prestige.
Okay, I'm sorry, what?
So people that have their Cedar Point pass, because they have a marina pass, that's technically platinum still. So they get to go to the prestige day.
Friends and family of associates as well still have platinum passes for some reason.
Okay.
Yes, that
Why are they making everything so confusing? Stop.
They did this to make it less confusing.
When they combine with Six Flags, then they can just
make it even more confusing. Yes. All right.
Yay.
Well, Taylor, I think this part is all you because it looks like we've got some April Fools. Now, look, I didn't pay any attention to any April Fools anything.
Happy April Fool's Day. We're recording this on the night of April Fools. That's kind of
important. So you take it away, Taylor. What's going on with the April Fool's stuff?
This was the one day I was gonna be on it with the news and just actually go put the news in. I woke up this morning, it was 8 a.m. and Canada's Wonderland got me because it was 8 a.m. I just woke up and I was like, oh, this looks nice. Chris retweeted it. I wasn't thinking about it being April 1st. And I was like, I want a roller coaster hotel inside of the mountain. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Just go to Phantasialand.
Just go to Germany.
McLovin said that to me the other day. Basically, he's like, "Yeah, when you go to Phantasialand, make sure you stay in the hotel." And I'm like, "Yeah. When I go, that's such a casual thing to talk about." Canada's Wonderlands was very well produced. I knew it was a joke, but it was official announcement quality.
And then they didn't even go say April Fools until 4 hours later.
4 hours later, yeah.
It was way later.
Oh, you know what? I did see the Ozark air freshener. I did see that. Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask everyone what their favorite one was, because mine was the Good Gravy crayon one, because they said something about the color of savory beef. And just the way they said savory beef was really
that's
my favorite. Not to celebrate our guest too much, was actually Brian's. For anybody who doesn't know about Coaster Madness, there's been a history of controversy with buying votes. So he tweeted out actually, after tracking votes this year, turns out only 2 coasters are clean. Vote for your champion, and it was a Millennium and Magnum, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Got me because again, I was at work and I saw that, and I was like, "Huh, what are the chances
Taylor,
here?"
You can't let anything get you on April 1st.
That was when I tweeted, and I was like, "I don't know what's real anymore."
Yeah, it's kind of a frustrating day actually, because if there's something real, and you're like, No,
it's not real.
Yeah,
real.
In an unrelated realm, 2 of the people from Smosh posted that they got married 2 or 3 days ago, and everybody on the internet's like, well, they posted it today with the date of the pictures being a few days ago, and everyone's like, is this real? Is this fake? So yeah,
have they confirmed? Did they get married?
It's not confirmed.
Let's find out. No.
Yeah, come on, let's go, Anthony.
But yeah, so any other thoughts about the April Fool's pranks from parks today?
No.
One about Griffin was really good. Did you guys see that one?
I liked the Griffin one. The Griffin one was really good.
One, the one where it's from 1 second to 24 hours.
Yeah, that's really funny. The 24 hours part, obviously.
What hour do you think you'd be like, okay?
I
July
was thinking,
1st.
I need to get out. Yeah.
I think it'd be funny if it was like an 8-hour cycle and people are like nodding off and falling asleep, and
then it drops.
yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if you would start like freaking out after a while, like, oh my god, I gotta get out of this.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in those old B&M restraints where they're
Yeah.
like, maybe if it was a vest, I could do it. But if those old hard B&Ms.
Brian, did you see this first coaster in space? I didn't see this one.
I did not see that one. No.
Yeah,
Rides.
Premier Rides announced that they're building the first coaster in space on the ISS.
Oh, okay.
Taking 0 G's to a new level. New height.
Larry,
Horseless.
that's what me and Taylor were talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
know.
they could legitimately build a coaster in space, and enthusiasts would be like, no force, doesn't go fast enough, like all this stuff. It's like, it's in space.
Yeah. God, wouldn't that be cool? So yeah, well, I think that covers news. So like I said, we've got our guest here today. We just want to talk a little bit about first of all, what inspired doing the 365 days of coasters? Like, how did you get to that?
Yeah, so like I said, I became an enthusiast in 2017. And I had always been a fan of those, those page-a-day calendars that you rip off the page every day on your desk.
Yeah.
Okay, there's got to be one for roller coasters, right? And no, the only ones for like amusement parks or roller coasters were just kind of the 12-month calendars that certain people sell and stuff. So I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. Like, that'd be cool if I could like make one, but I'm like, I don't know how I'd go about like selling something, So I'm like, oh, what if this is my idea and this is my way to get involved with the community, where I essentially become that calendar on Twitter.
Sure.
It's been pretty successful for you too, huh?
Yeah.
It's been, wow, I can't believe it's been, 6.5 years now since I started the account.
Yeah.
A little birdie told me you're running out, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely, with the channel last year and then just kind of taken a break, I've definitely been a little inconsistent with that. And as I kind of tweeted out the other day, I've done most of the major roller coasters in the world probably 3 or 4 times in the last. So
Gotcha.
I'm gonna start it next week once Coaster Madness is done. A little different idea where it's essentially just gonna be kind of like the random coaster of the day on RCDB, but like kind of going alphabetically a little bit.
Okay.
So just to kind of freshen it up a little bit. But
Nice.
The channel is definitely the priority now for me.
That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. One thing I'm really curious about is, well, I'm sure everybody is the Coaster Madness. Like, how did that start? And yeah, what made you want to do that? Because it seems like such a huge undertaking.
Well, I mean, by my shirt here, I went to kind of a prominent March Madness school in the University of Connecticut. 5 titles in that since '99. So even before I went to UConn, though, I'm a big sports fan, especially as Josh knows, especially clearly.
Go Bills!
Even as a kid, though, I loved March Madness. I was filling out brackets when I was 7, 8 years old. So I'm like, yeah, we got to do this for roller coasters, and it started very minimal participation compared to what's happening now. I would get I think the first year I did it, I'd get 30, 40 votes per matchup.
What year was that?
2018.
2018. Okay, that would have been that would have been the year I started following on Twitter. I think
Sweet. And it's just kind of gotten crazier and crazier since then. Honestly, it's actually been a little less crazy this year than it was last year, which I'm
really
last year.
Yeah, last year was I've noticed this year seems like it's going smoother, not as many problems with people screwing around, and then there's not as much toxicity this year. I feel like
it's been great. I mean, I kind of put out some not warning tweets, but just hey guys, this is just fun. Everyone behave, it's not.
Don't buy votes.
Serious.
Yeah.
There's only been one issue for one matchup. Thankfully, that's been it.
Well, thank God. Yeah, that's good.
That's been fun. And I got to shout out Allison. I credit her with
those look awesome.
They look so good.
She made insane graphics for Like, I don't even have to ask. It's like, okay, the next round's all set. It's uploaded in our folder. Just go post it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about
Incredible.
the logistics of that. Like how you, obviously you have to have all of the brackets and stuff done before, but the logistics, are you rolling them like on a weekly basis you get new art? Are you doing that every day? How does that work?
I mean, I gave Allison, like, when I, created, the bracket this year, probably 2 or 3 weeks before it started. So she had the first round, ready to go. And I mean, it's literally her job. So, like, it's kind of a joke for her. Not a joke. Like, she takes it seriously, but
Yeah,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
mind-numbingly simple for her.
yeah, she's extremely efficient. It probably takes her, like, I don't know, a couple minutes per matchup to once she has a template down. So
Yeah.
Well, it looks amazing.
They do look really good.
Like,
Shout out to Allison.
Your production quality for a Twitter and Instagram March Madness is like off the charts. It's crazy to like the target demographic and the bar you set for yourself is so disproportionate in the best way. Obviously, it's so funny.
I mean, if you're gonna do something,
if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, right?
She doesn't hold back. It's got to be the best of the best with her.
So with this, like, when do you start? I'm really curious when you start preparing for this. Like every year. Yeah.
I would say it was a little later this year than usual. Years past, I would start like tinkering with brackets like November.
Oh wow!
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, just I mean, I that's one of my favorite parts of the whole thing.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
So how do you decide your seating?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
Oh, how I decide the seating? Yeah. A variety of ways. The first year, I think the first year I just did American coasters because I was still very new and didn't really know too much outside of the U.S. I think as the years have gone on, I've obviously have 6 years of past results that I use. Like, obviously, if certain coasters keep going far, I'm going to give them higher seeds.
Mm-hmm.
I look at a variety of rankings from different enthusiasts online. I think the best one out there is the one that CoasterBot does. He gets like thousands and thousands of submissions, and he puts together like the top 500, top 1,000 coasters. So I honestly use that a lot just to like see where everyone's mine is at. And then it's also about I wanted to create potentially exciting matchups.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have a little, if I know somebody that likes 2 roller coasters, I might
you might put Magnum against Ride of Happiness just to make Laurel squirm a little bit.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's funny.
Do you ever take are you ever trying to make sure that it's not, or are you ever doing anything to try to have it not end up being like the same coaster every year, or is it more just like I want to make sure it's just always the top one wins?
Oh, 100%. I actually took a great effort this year to try to avoid repeat matchups for last year. So like the championship last year was Velocicoaster versus Steel Vengeance, which if I put them on opposite sides of the bracket this year, probably that would have been the championship again.
Gotcha.
So I purposely put them on the same side of the bracket, so they're facing in the semifinals this year.
So your rationale,
especially the 1s versus the 2s, I looked at past years to try to put them in different regions. So
gotcha. Okay.
So your rationale is kind of the best coaster can win multiple times. It just really has to earn it in order to win multiple times.
So fun fact, and I still don't know if this was the right call or not. In 2021, Steel Vengeance won 2 years in a row. And, of course, that was the COVID year where almost nothing was added in 2020. So I'm like, Steel Vengeance is going to win again.
Yeah.
So I made the call then for 2 years that past winners I'm not going to include.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
2 years there was no Steel Vengeance. There was no Fury. There was no Maverick because Maverick won in 21. But then when it started getting like really popular again, and then finally you got rides like the Velocicoaster and Iron Gwazi and Ride to Happiness, all these really good European coasters. I'm like, okay, everybody's
yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's really cool, and I love that kind of behind the scenes things where it's like, sure, you put out this tournament, and nobody thinks about the literal 6 months of prep you do into, like, not rigging the results, but kind of like having a guiding hand to be like, stop it, you won too much. Stop
No, I think that's
Yeah.
exactly what you should do. It'd be
Yeah.
so boring if it was just
Oh, yeah.
Steel Vengeance every year, like, or Gwazi
Do
every year.
do you have any? Okay, to go back to March Madness for a second. I was rooting for NC yesterday, and obviously they showed Duke what was what. That was quite a domination in the second half there. Do you have any coasters that you kind of watch go through the bracket and you're like, come on, be that NC State. You can take out, like, you can take something out. I know it.
So I guess a credit to myself is that there's usually not a lot of upsets with seeding.
Mm-hmm.
Almost none.
Yeah.
That's
Deep
fair.
down, am I rooting for upsets here and there? 1,000%.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just flat out say it. Velocicoaster won last year. I was rooting for Velocicoaster last year. It's my number one. It had never won before.
It's my number 2.
I prefer it not to win this year because
Yeah.
you know. I hope whoever wins out of Iron Gwazi and Voyage beats Velocicoaster and Vengeance because they've never won before.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm not going to persuade. I'm not going to say, "Hey, everybody, vote for Iron Gwazi."
Gotcha. Yeah. Makes sense.
But yeah, no, I always enjoy the upsets. I strive for as close to 50-50 as possible.
I was really pulling for Maverick
Yeah.
the other day. Like,
I
that would have been really cool to see.
I thought it was so sweet how everybody was like, it's Chris's birthday. Go vote for Maverick. Like, that was really sweet of everyone.
All I'm going to say about that is I got a text from an undisclosed person that said, don't tell Chris I voted for Gwazi.
Oof.
So, I'm not going to reveal that. I'll respect their wish.
I won't guess.
Chris is on the case. He's going to find them.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have done this.
He'll figure it out.
Well, oh well.
Taylor, didn't you had a question about the YouTube side of things, I thought?
Did I? I think I did.
The ratings, right?
Yes. Okay, actually I had 2 questions. So, I want to back up and just ask, like, 365 is a really specific number. Did you go over at all and just be like, you know what, I didn't like this review, scrap it? Or did you just exactly 365?
No, it was really a matter of just, like, I would never do a kiddie coaster. I tried to do not like every Boomerang or every SLC.
Okay.
It was just a matter of, okay, I'm going to go to Cedar Point. There's, 14 reviews there. Then I'm going to go to Indiana Beach. There's 5. I really didn't start to narrow down, like, how many I needed to do really until the last month. Then it's like, okay, what parks haven't I hit yet? How can I get 31 coasters in?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I know I still got to go to the San Antonio area. There's 2 parks there. I can hit like Kemah Boardwalk and Galveston. I knew that I had 7 in Florida that I wanted to finish with, so I'm like, okay, I just got to get to December 24th. As long as I get there, I'm good. And thankfully that happened. So
Cool.
yeah, it was just a matter of like, okay, what's the next park, and just keep going, and hopefully by the end, I really didn't plan out like, oh shit, like what if I run out of parks?
Right.
Like, I can't go to Europe in like December.
Yeah.
Impromptu Europe
trip. I need a plane tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just day trip Japan. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Day
Easy.
trip Japan.
Day trip Japan.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then I was watching the your video that you posted the other day about like things I overrated, and you said something about like a 4.89 or something along those lines, and I was like, how the hell do you get a 4.89? It was just...
So I explained in those videos, it's not a perfect system, and it's not exactly scientific. I think that was just my way of being like unique versus like how other people rate them, and also I honestly think my original idea was to give every coaster a different score.
Mm.
Okay.
Which, using the 100th decimal point, gives me 1,000 scores to work with.
Right.
That ended up not happening because I didn't have a notebook with me when I did some. So repeat scores happened. It was what it was. But
The funny part is, you say it's not an exact science, but I rode Dark Coaster one train behind you, and I got off, and I looked at you, and in my head I'm like, okay, he's gonna rate this a 6.7, 6.8, and I go, what would you say? And you look at me and go, probably a 6.75, and I was like, I knew
I
it!
remember
Oh my
that.
god,
I remember
Yeah.
you saying
So
that.
like, I had seen
Yeah.
enough of your reviews that I'm like, I know about where he's gonna put this. So
Yeah.
it's not like an exact science, but it's a repeatable thing. That's the interesting part to me.
Yeah, now that I'm like thinking about it, like yeah, like not every 7 is equal. Like, so like yeah, that was interesting. I was just like very like thrown off by like how precise it was. Like,
right, no, for sure. And I wanted to like, I never wanted to give like a super high 9 or a 10. That way, when I did give a 9 at like a hit, and I like that,
right.
okay, this is truly elite. So yeah, it was just spur of the moment, and there was no real exact science to it. That's why I made those videos, because looking back, it was like, a lot of these are off probably. So
Yeah.
Well, now you can get a whole nother year out of content of fixing your mistakes.
Yeah, there you go.
oh, for sure, yeah, and that's been the big thing is like as much as of a endeavor as it was, like I now have footage of like pretty much every major coaster in the U.S., which is going to be very helpful.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that is huge.
Yeah, that's insane.
I wish I had that.
Yeah.
Still cell phone and not like super, HD camera, shots. But I tried
Cell phone on YouTube with YouTube compression these days, like, sure, it's not like Coaster Studios cinematic, but it's perfectly serviceable.
I stopped bringing my DSLR to parks.
That's like, I'm obviously really good friends with Sarah and Taylor.
Yeah.
Seeing their work, I'm like, I'm not that. So
I tried to do. No, look, I mean, I can't like photograph like he does, but I did try. I brought a DSLR to parks for a while. I don't know how he does that. I don't know how he lugs that all around everywhere, bringing it out, putting the lens on it, because I'm sure he's not like just leaving the thing attached the whole time, right? Like, must have been just.
No. I mean, he's been doing it for like 10 years now. I think he's basically got it down to a science. So
yeah.
You just don't go to Six Flags Over Georgia with your equipment and then try to last ride of the night something, because that's where you're
so hot, so hot, and you're just like
Brian knows what I mean.
Yeah.
So with Coaster Madness right now, so we're in the final 4, right?
Final 4, yep.
Mary, you skipped my question. Sorry.
What was your question?
I have 3 in there. We already touched on 2 of them. I just wanted to take my question time to read my list to Bryant of coasters over 200 feet that are better than Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure.
Oh, God.
Okay, here we go. Gwazi, Steel Vengeance, Skyrush with the older strains, Orion, I-305, King Ka, Mako, Magnum, Millennium Force, Leviathan, Behemoth, Diamondback, Shikra, Griffin, Bellraven, Yukon Striker, Apollo's Chariot, Candemonium, and most likely Top Thrill 2.
Most likely Top Thrill 2. Not definitely, just most likely.
I haven't written it yet.
70% of those, to be fair.
Every B&M Hyper I have is above Nitro for me.
No.
Apollo's Chariot. I loved Apollo's Chariot.
Apollo's Chariot was kind of for me.
Loved it.
Good.
I was literally yelling at Bryant when we were riding it. This is better than Nitro! And he's looking back at me going, you're crazy!
My favorite thing about having ridden Apollo's Chariot is that I've now ridden the coaster where Fabio was hit in the face.
That's fair.
I just want to ride it to spite Fabio, because Fabio was pissed about that.
I bet he was.
My favorite part of riding Apollo's Chariot is when we went back to ride it at night, and we had quick queue, so we went up the exit or up the quick queue line. And Austin from Amusement Insider was like, we took his row. So we started talking to him, and he had this much of his beer left. And we dispatched, and I just turned and watched him go, chug the whole beer. And if you've never met Austin, that man can put him back. And it's so funny to me every time for some reason.
I don't know how he's as thin as he is with how he drinks.
Yeah. I don't know how his feet aren't falling off with the fact that he walks around parks in Adidas slides all day, too. That man's
What?
an enigma.
Yeah, man has so much mystery of how he does what he does.
I'll wear slides to parks sometimes. Slides are comfy.
Taylor, for context, I saw him in sneakers once, and I looked at him. I go, Austin, why do you have sneakers on? He goes, I had the slides earlier, but like it was at King's Dominion. I think he said like my feet started to hurt, and then I saw him at Busch Gardens the next day. He had his slides on again.
There we go.
He's crazy.
So all right, so we have it's Iron, Gwazi, Steve, Velocicoaster, and Voyage. That's who's left.
That is the final four. Yes, all the number.
And when can people vote on these?
So when does this go live?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday. Today is Monday. So by the time this comes out, the Velocicoaster and Steel Avengers matchup will already have been final.
Okay.
And you will have until what time did I make it? I think 10 p.m. tonight. Maybe I put it this way: the Wednesday is when Voyage Gwazi goes live, and it's 24 after that. So maybe you might maybe it's 10 a.m. on Thursday. I don't know.
So we'll be
drop at
pretty
11,
close to knowing the final.
Yes, the championship matchup will be on Friday. So
very nice.
As you're hearing this.
So if you're listening to this as it drops, the last matchup just ended an hour ago. Head over to Brian's Twitter and check out those results.
Yes. And
Friday,
don't forget to vote the next day.
Appreciate that. Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, so we do have some questions.
Wait, I had one other question.
Oh, go for it.
I guess like we kind of already a little bit. I just wanted to ask what you're into outside of coasters. Like we saw sports, but is there other things that you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I love to travel in general, not just coasters. Especially if I'm on like a road trip and especially like internationally, I definitely want to put in different stops of like sightseeing and stuff. Like I love hiking, national parks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sports obviously not as much as I used to be. I was actually really bad in like my teenage years and my 20s. Mellowed out a little bit.
Oh. Like you're like too hardcore?
What's that?
You were like too hardcore of a sports fan?
Yeah, I like take weeks to recover from losses and then
One of my friends is like that as a Bills fan, and I'm like, dude, you got to pick one or the other. It can't be both. We're Bills fans.
Well, yeah, then just movies, TV here and there, like Star Wars and all the Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, all those
all the good stuff.
Speaking of international travel, are you planning on going to Land of the Riding Fun with Coaster Crew in 2025?
I will not be, unfortunately. No,
Brian.
I think 2025 is going to be my big European trip if I had to.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I do have some international trips planned this year. I just can't reveal them because
gotta keep the mystery.
Well, I'm a YouTuber now, so I got to tease it when the.
Are you going with anybody for those by chance?
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. It would. Let's just say it would cut down on costs to go with other people. So.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. So are we good to move on to the questions side of things from viewers?
I believe so.
Taylor, Josh.
We
okay.
are.
Oh, we got our swoosh. Okay.
I love the head movement, Larry.
Swoosh. Okay, so we've got first question. This is from Scooby Coasters. For all the enthusiasts crapping on the mini dive coaster, or that's in quotes, mini dive coaster at Dorney, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on it potentially being the best paced dive coaster, and if that brings it up the rankings or among dives. Say Iron Menace covered, like, I don't know. Wait, okay. Made up.
I'll interpret this. I'll interpret
this is a very wordy question.
Basically what he's saying is, hypothetically, if Iron Menace is 68 feet per second and Yukon is 63 feet per second, would people rank Yukon higher because it's taller, or would Iron Menace be ranked higher based on speed? That's basically the question here.
Right. So, yeah, I feel like the two best dives will be Yukon and Iron Menace going forward. So that's his final thought on that.
Yes. Brian, I think you and I are the only two that have ridden Yukon. So I think we're probably the only two that can really speak on this.
That's true. Yeah.
So what do you think?
Well, first, I like Griffin and Sheikra a little bit more than Yukon, personally. No, I just think the kickoff, the drop is a little stronger. I
Yeah.
mean, to the point of it potentially still being good, I think what, the big knock on the original dives was like, oh, it's the one-trick pony. It's just about the dive. Also just kind of which is fair, and I think what the smaller dives need to do, if it's not going to be as high, is you need to pay more attention to, post-dive, everything that happens after that. Looking so far, at least at the off-ride footage of Iron Menace, it's looking like it's flying through that layout pretty well, so I think it has the potential to be one of the most complete dive coasters anyway. So I guess that kind of harkens back to, if it's faster, does it make it better?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
We'll have to try it, I guess, and see.
I mean, I still think that there are things that could be said without having ridden Yukon, because he's talking about this being, the best or one of the two best.
That's fair.
I've been on, Griffin's my favorite so far.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You have what? Griffin and Valraven?
Griffin, Valraven. I think that's it. I don't know if I'm missing one. I guess they count hang time, but I don't count hang time. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm not really sure if it's going to be the best, because it's one of the smaller ones, right?
Yeah, it's a mini.
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
It's one of the small gauge 7 trains.
So what Scoop and I have talked about when we talk about it is I've only rode Valraven so far. So to me, my problem with Valraven is that first drop gets cut off by the second drop. And so we look at it and we're like, oh, the pacing would be better if that second drop, if you switch the side, the first half and the second half. And so, to me, the Iron Menace, the pacing looks a lot better because you're not getting cut off halfway through.
What do you mean? You mean stopping to go on the second drop?
Stop, and you just actually it's very flowy, whereas Valraven to me doesn't flow super good. I don't know how that compares to Yukon or Griffin or anything yet.
Yukon
probably the Emperor at SeaWorld San Diego, because that's the only other one in the U.S. that doesn't have a mid-course.
Okay.
And that one, that one definitely moves through its layout as well. It's very underrated, I think.
Don't even have a roof on that station.
Iron Menace stuff.
I was gonna say Yukon fixes that Valraven problem. The mid course is a lot later in the run.
That's true.
So and then after it's basically just the drop and a helix into the station, kind of. I think it's a very tight helix, and there's a lot of more positives on it than I expected. But I think before you have the Immelman, the vertical loop, a 0G roll. There's a lot more before the mid course.
Yeah.
Yukon also has the coolest bins in the world, and that's a little benefit, right? Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know.
Oh yeah, those moving bins.
Yeah. So when
like the dry cleaners.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem with them is if people don't empty their cups completely, you can get dripped on, which has happened to me once. But basically, for Taylor, are you looking up the Yukon bins?
No. Tony Clark just posted a very blurry picture of what looks like people on Top Thrill 2. And it was sent to me, and so I'm thinking we're gonna get our POV very soon, if not tomorrow.
Who knows? They put
Which
out
is
a
2 days ago
POV
from when this goes
up. But yeah, Yukon fixes that problem. I think Yukon and Sheikra are very close for me. I didn't get the best ride on Griffin, because I've put on weight since then, and I still fit into the not big seats on Old Vienna or on Sheikra, but it was tighter than I would have wanted, so I couldn't really move as much. Or on Griffin, sorry. So if I got a red belt seat, I probably would have enjoyed it more. But Sheikra and Yukon are shockingly close for me, for the layout discrepancies. Sheikra is short, if anybody doesn't know. It's pretty short. But back row wing seats, you get thrown over that drop. It's crazy.
Striker is definitely one of those rides I wish I had gotten more on. I only got one ride on it because that was we were at Canada's Wonderland for one day, and that was kind of the fault of doing the channel, because that was my most stressful day of get as many rides in as I could. When we were even helped by it rain for the first morning, so that actually kind of cleared the park out. We were able to get all the credits, but
head back over here sometime.
thing for me at Canada's Wonderland, unfortunately.
Head back over here.
I know.
Yeah, but I think Iron Menace, I have to be very careful how I say this so it doesn't get taken out of context. I feel like about 50% of the praise for Iron Menace is because it went to Dorney.
Yeah.
Instead of a bigger park. Whereas if this came to Kings Island, for example, people would have been like, oh, that's such a bad layout. It's so short.
Yeah.
And I love Dorney, and I'm gonna love Iron Menace, but I feel like right now it's such a god tier ride in so many people's minds that they're either gonna pretend to love it more than they do or be disappointed, just because they built up the opposite of Top Thrill 2, where so many people are shitting on Top Thrill 2 just because of old Dragster, and it's like it's a different experience. Get over it.
No, I agree, Josh. I think that like what's going on with this one is it's going to Dorney. Dorney needed something bad.
They did,
Yeah.
yes.
I feel like it's a really good fit for Dorney.
Mm-hmm. And they've done such a good job with the theming and the marketing and getting people hyped up for it. And I think people are just excited about it. But I think that they're kind of going a little
I still
overboard.
expect to love it, to be clear.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
And
I like that coasters.
I
think it'll be good. Like, really good.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I do think I'll like it more than Valraven, but how I'll compare it to some of the bigger dives. Like, I like, Brian, that you said that, like, Emperor's underrated. Like, I feel like that, honestly, is probably more like what Scooby's getting at is...
Yeah,
like
I agree with that. And it's kind of funny, because I'm looking forward to the pacing on Iron Menace, but my favorite element on Valraven is the super slow 0G roll, where, like, you literally get hang time, because it's so terribly placed in that layout.
I don't know what it is. For me, it's the drops. I just love those. That just like straight down, and you're just hanging there. I like that. But so we've got another question here from Leviathan's Bestie. If you could bring back Geauga Lake, but pick whatever location you want, where would you pick? Many say Ohio is redundant. Where wouldn't be? Let's start with Bryant on this one.
So basically, in other words, what like city needs a park?
So yeah.
Seattle, 100%. Seattle needs a park badly.
Interesting.
I think because all they have is like Wild Waves, which I've heard is a not good park at all.
Go a couple hours north to Peony Playland.
I think the whole it rains too much there is overplayed. Yeah, it rains in like the winter and spring. The summers are actually really nice there. It rains about the same as like Cleveland and Pittsburgh and other major park cities. Yeah, they have like nothing up there. Like you got to go to Silverwood for any significant roller coasters in the Pacific Northwest. So
that's good.
Yeah, Geauga Lake with better coasters, hopefully.
Yeah. What about you, Taylor? Where do you think it should go?
I don't know. I've known about this question for a week, and I didn't put any thought into it on accident.
On accident.
I just kind of forgot it. Like, I knew about the question. I just kind of forgot about it. Didn't think to put any thought into it. I'm gonna say inland. Don't go put it on any of the coasts, because the coasts aren't great places. But we can give it to Seattle.
Two of us live in coast states. Why are you trashing on the coast?
Because I took a water crises class, and I worry about our coasts.
She's worried that you guys are going to be pushed out of your homes.
Josh, you're fine. You're in Buffalo.
Buffalo, right next to the Great Lakes and the Niagara River that feeds directly from the Hudson River.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine, Josh. It's fine.
They get buried with snow every year. I think they'll know how to handle it.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Josh, where do you want Geauga Lake to go?
I'm gonna pick somewhere between Syracuse, New York, and Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, along the highway there. There's a lot of parks in a ring around there, like New England, Great America, Great Adventure, Hershey, Dorney, Darien Lake, Canada's Wonderland. But like in the middle, central New York to northern PA, it's kind of empty.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys put like actual like thought into this. My answer was just going to be, I'm just going to put it back where it was, so Cedar Point stops screwing around with Sam parallel wild mouses.
My God.
Hey, that might have been a buy one get one free situation. We don't know.
Anyway, yeah, I didn't give it actual thought. I don't know where it would go. I wish I had thought about it like you did, Brian. Like what city needs a park? That's a more interesting.
Yeah, being like a fan of geography, I've always been those answers have always been kind of quick for me. Like Seattle's up there, Houston could use another park.
Anywhere
Phoenix
in the
is
middle of the country. Where
Phoenix
there's
is
nothing.
growing pretty fast. They need a good
Mhm.
park too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of like Wendover Productions by chance? On
What is that?
YouTube. Oh, you would love. So Wendover Productions is a really high, like quality channel that discusses like logistics and geography and like goes super deep dive into. Sometimes it'll be like the train network and why certain things happen with that.
Yeah,
Sometimes it'll
I
be
saw
like,
one of theirs. They did
yeah,
like
they
what
make
happened with
I'll
the.
link you the channel, Brian. They make really good videos.
Didn't they do one that was like what happened? Like they were like explained like the supply crisis during and after COVID.
They'll like do that. Sometimes they'll do like government based stuff. So it'll like break down like they did one. I think it was either half as interesting or Wendover, which is the same team. Just one is like 9-minute videos, one is like 30-minute videos. So kind of different demographics. But
yeah,
they did
I do
one.
think you'd like it.
They did one recently about
I'll look
like
it up.
how the CIA and the FBI intentionally lie to each other because international versus or domestic policy and like that kind of stuff, and like how it's impacted the world and history.
I'll
and
watch
stuff.
that one.
Yeah, I'll link you those channels, Brian.
That sounds like a good video.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
All right, so we've got Cedar Kev.
Hey,
Yep. Big friend of the show. He says, if you were given the chance to fix or improve the worst coaster you've ever ridden, how would you do it?
Oh, I have an easy one for this.
All right, you go ahead, Josh.
Titan Tracker RMC, Mighty Canadian Spine Buster, baby.
That's what you're gonna say.
yeah.
All right. What about you, Taylor?
I'm trying to think what the worst coaster I've ridden is. Like outside of like kiddie credits.
Invertigo, Flight of Fear. Just giving you some options here.
Yeah,
Not Flight of Fear. I like Invertigo a lot, actually.
Okay, real quick, just to put Taylor on blast. So for anybody who doesn't know, I'm getting married in 33 days. And I was talking to Taylor about how we're going to do our table numbering. And instead of getting every table a number, we're giving them a Kings Island roller coaster. So like some people will be at this table. Taylor texted me, and I quote, "Who do you hate enough to put at the Invertigo table?"
I never said Invertigo's the best coaster in the park, and everybody else hates Invertigo. So you hate Invertigo. So why would I not say, who do you hate enough to put it at Invertigo? I hope whoever you put at Invertigo listens to this podcast.
Love that. By the way, Invertigo is overhated, I think.
Thank you.
It is.
Different restraints, I'd like it more.
But
yeah.
So is that the worst coaster you've ridden? Invertigo?
Honestly,
Taylor?
I feel like I'm gonna put Tsunami. Like Tsunami, I feel like doesn't count though, because it's like
sure
fake.
It does. At Scene 75, right?
Yeah, it's
sure
like,
that counts.
It counts, but it's like fake. Like,
yeah.
What am I gonna do to improve that?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Tear it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's put an Intamin Blitz in there instead. Just pull the Chris move.
I mean, do you like what is that one? Do you like Cedar Creek Mine Ride?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, can we just like get new trains for that and completely retrack it? And...
They tested it with Gemini trains.
Okay.
Really?
When?
Yeah, after a few years ago, they were testing it with, because Gemini used to run 6 trains. So they were testing it with their old red and blue trains from Gemini, and they just never did it for some reason.
So you want new trains on it? That's what you do.
I want new trains on it, and maybe just give it better theming. Like I feel like if it got like the Adventure Express treatment, I might be more inclined to ride it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me.
Okay. So you get new trains and give it the Adventure Express theming treatment.
Yeah, just give it a
Okay.
little love if we're gonna keep it around. I do really
Brian,
like the little like lake it sits on and how like it's all full of lily pads and stuff. It's very aesthetically pleasing to me.
It is.
But imagine a clone of Invader going over that lake.
I haven't rode Invader, so
it's like Mystic Timbers.
Brian gave like a.
It's similar. It's similar. If you've ridden Mystic, I felt
what
very similar.
That's about it.
What's that?
What was that?
I said it's similar in that it's a GCI. That's about it.
I think it's more similar to like Wickerman.
It is more similar to Wickerman. But like, Taylor, what I'm trying to tell you is, when you get off of it, you'll be like, yeah, it kind of reminds me of the way that ride feels. It feels like it was made by the same kind of person, the same person.
I disagree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they were made in the same year.
We were talking about this after we got off of it, Josh, I thought.
Were we?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, to be honest. All I remember is One Train Ops, for some reason, on Invader.
Oh, man. That's no good.
Good night ride, though.
Brian, what would you do? How would you fix the worst coaster you've ever been on?
So my former worst coaster was destroyed, and I was happy about Goliath at 6 Flags New England.
Thought you were going to say T3.
So my current worst coaster is probably Time Warp at Canada's Wonderland.
It's not that bad. It's not good.
Is this the torture device thing?
It's the second worst in the park.
Parallel,
it's not that bad. Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah, what can you do?
I would say send it to North Korea, but they already have one of those.
Wow.
And those people even more.
So there's no fixing it. It's just,
I don't know. Can you make it can you put, I don't even know what you could do.
Isn't there another Valair that doesn't have the things?
The what?
Isn't there a Valair that doesn't have the head pads, so it's like not as bad?
Oh, I mean, maybe they're not States.
I think the one at Coney Island, or whatever it's called, Luna Park, doesn't have head pads, so it's not as bad, even though it's a clone.
Well, they both were horrible. So,
Josh, do you kind of like that ride? Because I feel like you always defend it.
I don't like it, but I don't think it's as bad as people make. Sure, it's my Vertigo. I was gonna say something.
What's better, it or Vertigo?
Vertigo.
Depends what kind of headache you want that day. To be completely honest,
which kind of headache would you prefer?
Tylenol or ibuprofen. Like, what do you have on you? That's how you decide what's right. Gotcha. Speaking of bad coasters, though, T3 started getting disassembled today.
Yeah, I knew I was forgetting some news.
That would be the best way to improve the worst coaster I've ridden, which is T3.
But it got bought by somebody, so it's going somewhere.
I know. Some psychopath.
Somebody on Twitter said the site that was selling T3 was also selling a Schwarzkopf Jetstar. Why would you not just buy the Schwarzkopf Jetstar instead of T3?
Because they're buying it to torture people with it. It's the CIA is the one buying it.
Or it's the FBI. We don't know.
Not Jefferson? Do you know Jefferson?
So what I would do with that, I mean, really the only way I'd know to make it better would be to change the restraints. Because the restraints were like so uncomfortable on that ride. And they would like ratchet down like during the ride, and there was a lot of just random jank. So maybe some new track, but it's not worth it. Don't fix it. Just trash it. No. We've got Cedar Cuber. What is one element on any coaster that you like for no reason? So I'm thinking about this. Do they mean one element that you like, even though it's generally not regarded as like a really good element? Because I can't think of something I like for no reason.
I like Flight of Fear's Cobra Roll.
What's yours, John? Flight of Fear's Cobra Roll?
Yeah.
But you like it for a reason, though, right?
Yeah, no? I guess I like it more than other ones. I don't know. Let me hear something else.
Mine is the second section of Titan Track on Predator. It sounds nice. It's got some interesting laterals.
Those are reasons.
Yeah, but they're not like substantiated.
That's how I'm interpreting it too.
Like I could look at you and be like, Alpengeist is a really snappy Cobra roll, but that's a substantiated reason.
Okay, I got you.
I just like the whoosh sound.
That's I like that too. On coasters, Brian, what's yours? What is a element that you like for no reason?
I thought about this kind of for a long time, and I came up with two because I kind of took this as also like what's like an underrated like element.
That's kind of how I was thinking of it too. Yeah.
That is on Wicked Cyclone, which is like the ride that made me become an enthusiast in the first place. After the second inversion, there's this really intense airtime hill that I love, and I think that one moment might have like turned the gears of like, you are an enthusiast.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
But for another one that like for just no reason that no one ever talks about, and this honestly probably sounds so stupid, but I grew up at Disney, so I despite only being a roller coaster enthusiast for 6 years, I've been a Disney park fan for my whole life. I love the start of Expedition Everest. I don't know. Have any of you been on Everest?
I haven't.
Not.
By start, do you mean like broken track section or before
No,
that?
it's that little lift hill, and then it's just like this kind of peaceful
Oh, okay.
like,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
foliage and stuff, and then just
Yeah.
trees, and it's like it's a weirdly peaceful way to kick off a ride before you hit the more intense stuff, and it brings back some like nostalgia as well. So
I got you. Yeah, I think you got it. Good answers there. Taylor, what about you?
I would like to change my answer to the sound that the bat makes when you're going up the lift hill. But that's not really an element. But like, I don't.
sure.
That's
There's
a terrible
rollback?
sound, Taylor. It
don't
sounds
know,
like
this-
you're going to die.
But it's
Magnum's
like a really
lift hill,
funny
best
sound.
sound.
And then like you do the nice little calm turn into the drop,
Yeah.
and it's just it complements each other. You look over, you see the trees. You look over, you see Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah,
It's
it
nice.
is.
I
It's a
like
nice
it. I like
lift.
the noise.
I'm glad you brought up noise, both of you, because I think coaster noises are underrated. They're a great thing
Yeah.
about coasters.
Oh, I have. Can I say my most underrated element? Since I
Yes.
didn't say that. Orion's Speed Hill.
Yes.
I agree completely. That is
thing
such
is
a good.
wild.
Yeah, it's the best part of the ride, I think. Other than the drop, because the drop is. I
I was
love
gonna say the
drops.
drop is insane.
Yeah. Mine, I guess, would be. I was gonna say Orion's wave turn because everybody talks shit about it. I really like it. If you sit all the way in the like as far right as you can go, it's a pretty good element. And I just like it. I just like you're turned sideways really high up in the air. I like it. And then there was another one I was thinking of. Oh, you know what? The JoJo roll on now I can't remember the ride. Copperhead Strike. Yep. I love that. Because you're just hung
That's good.
upside down. You really feel like you're gonna get dumped out. And I just think it's cool.
I love feeling like I'm gonna get dumped.
Yeah, I love getting dumped, dude.
I really like this question because it just makes me think about like all the things I miss about being at parks, like just the little random things.
Yeah. I like it. It's a good question.
Really nice question.
Speaking of the
go
little
ahead.
things I miss about parks, standing in queue with Bryant, he told everybody a joke at Hershey, and I thought of it the other day. I'll remind you in a second. I thought of it the other day, and under my breath, I was like, "God damn it!"
Well, what was it?
Larry and Taylor, what coaster, or name one coaster that begins with a Q?
I almost
No,
said
it's
our
how many-
podcast, so
Wait, Brian, what was that?
It's how many roller coasters in the world begin with a Q?
Oh yeah, how many?
All of them?
Yep, it's
All of them.
Yeah.
oh,
And he went when we were waiting in line. I think it was Coal Cracker. He went one by one through our group of like 17 people and told everybody that joke. And I was standing next to him, so every time I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn it. And I randomly thought of this the other day. I think it was like a thumbnail for like it was a TikTok where it was like, name a roller coaster that starts with every letter. And I thought Q, and I'm like, oh.
Love it.
Now I'm trying to think of one that actually does start with the letter Q.
Not many. There's only
Yeah.
like 7,
I can't think of one.
and I think only one in the U.S.
I can't think of one.
There's a mine train at Gilroy Gardens in California called Quicksilver Express,
Oh, there we go.
and there's also a it's like a Zyklon Galaxy, and in Colombia, which weirdly I have ridden, called Quantum.
Quantum. More coasters
the
should
park
start
that
with
has-
Quantum.
Is it the
Quantum
part that
is a
has
good
Singer,
word.
the original
Yeah.
singer?
What was that, Josh?
Is that the park that has the original Zambezi Zinger?
No, that was Parque del Cafe. This was Mundo Aventura.
Ah.
Very nice. Very nice. We've got a question from Laurel XL200. What can I personally do to get Magnum a higher seed for Coaster Madness 2025? Also, what are all of you most excited about for Coaster Season 2024?
This is your chance to get a big IOU out of Laurel.
Yeah.
Don't let this go to waste.
Yeah.
Magnum is maybe more so than any other coaster that hasn't won anyway. It always gets people buzzing in Coaster Madness, so I always have to.
What is
higher seeds? I think I've had it as high as a 9 seed before.
What did it lose to this year?
15 this year.
What did it lose to this year?
Here we go. Quad Down exclusive. Magnum will be a higher seed in 2025.
Woo!
All right. Very nice.
I
You heard it
love
here first,
Magnum
folks.
as well. What did Magnum lose to this year?
Ride to Happiness.
Oh, yes. And that was a lot closer than I expected, at least on Twitter.
It was, yeah. It really was.
I should have mentioned this earlier. I like to put, like, popular American coasters versus, really, really good international coasters, but maybe not a lot of people have ridden, just to kind of see.
That's interesting.
If bias into play.
Oh, see, here's the thing, though. I am very biased. Like, I intentionally vote against anything that's not. I'm like, let's go, America.
What
Interesting.
Did you yell at me the other day for not voting for Ohio?
You voted for a coaster. There was an Ohio coaster and one that wasn't from Ohio, and you voted for the one that wasn't from Ohio.
Okay, Larry. So if there's I-305 and Adventure Express up in Coaster Madness, you're gonna tell me with a straight face?
No.
You're voting for
I
Adventure
would vote
Express.
Adventure Express in that
There are
case,
limits.
though.
There are limits.
Taylor.
But no, I'm like, to me, that's the fun in it, is being like, I'm going to vote for the one I want to win, not necessarily the one that I think is like the best.
Which is why I voted for Gwazi on Chris's birthday.
Well, right, yes, because I get it. But so there you go, Laurel, higher seed. And
what are we most excited for about the 2024 season?
Yeah.
I'm in about 40 days going on my honeymoon, doing Islands of Adventure, SeaWorld Orlando, Hollywood Studios, and the Carnival Mardi Gras. So that's going to be pretty nice.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, really excited for that.
I know that shit well.
I know you do. That's going to be really good, especially because my April, I'm finalizing wedding planning. I get married in 33 days, and I also have a massive work project. So April is going to be quite literally the most stressful month of my life thus far. So having that 2-week honeymoon in late May is going to be like, I keep telling my project manager, she's like, are you okay? Like, do you need a break? I'm like, I get a 2-week vacation when this is over. Let's just finish this thing.
Well, good. It'll be well deserved. Taylor, what's yours? What are you most excited about for 2024?
I get to ride more Flight of Fears.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's true.
Are you finally getting on the King's Dominion one?
I'm getting on the King's Dominion one, and I'm getting on Joker's Jinx.
Okay, so you'll see the 2 better ones than the one at King's Island.
Sure.
I agree.
Sure.
Well, I don't know about Joker's Jinx, but I agree about King's Dominion.
One doesn't have aliens, so therefore by default it can't be better.
Loses, yeah.
But
yeah. If it doesn't start with like a flying saucer thing.
Yeah,
that's true.
I have a King's Dominion Flight of Fear pennant flag on my wall back here, and I feel like such a poser because I haven't rode that one. But like getting King's Island Flight of Fear merch is impossible. So
really?
Well, they did that shirt this year, but like otherwise,
we got those magnets. No, those were Orion. Never mind.
No, they had a Flight of Fear magnet, and I have like some pins, but like I want like actual displayable merch. I do have a poster on my other wall, but
very cool. Very cool. What about you, Brian? What are you most excited about?
What I am most excited about, I have alluded to earlier. I cannot reveal yet.
Oh, right, of course, yes. Okay. Well, what can you reveal that you're most excited about? So the not secret.
Sure. It's not official, but I would like to, if I can, get to the Northern California parks this year. That's like kind of my big domestic goal anyway. It's really the only area I haven't hit yet.
Yeah.
Along with Lagoon. I don't think Lagoon's going to happen this year.
I want.
forgot.
Yeah,
go
no,
there.
CGA and Discovery Kingdom are hopefully
Cool.
cards.
I just need
I
to know
forgot
if
something
Laurel
cool.
has an Arrow nameplate.
where do you just go on eBay and get this stuff?
No,
You
okay,
can buy
so
this from
this one you
SNS.
can buy from SNS. Like you
Oh,
can buy
okay.
Arrow wheels from SNS as well.
Laurel, I will text you Taylor's address. You can just go steal that.
It's $25.
It's free at your house.
That's fair. I'll just get a new
Something
one.
cool I forgot. I'm probably going to Peony Playland to ride Thunderbolt and Wooden Coaster as well.
Very nice.
Okay.
Mine, I'm probably gonna have to say, as of right now, probably Top Thrill 2 is what I'm most excited about because this is gonna be a lighter travel year for me. But I mean that's still a big thing, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Let's see, we've got Velocicoasting. Why
Like
will
UConn.
Purdue beat UConn in the NCAA championship game?
This is the question I was talking
Alex.
about. Top of show.
Ooh, nice. I like.
I'll go first before Brian gets into this. Purdue ain't even making it to the championship, bud. You got to beat NC, and
Whoa.
I think NC is the underdog here. They looked really good yesterday against Duke, like really good. So I'm gonna say Purdue upset loss.
Wow. Stunning. I would not go that far. I mean, first off, that is this video going to be put up
Yes.
anywhere?
Yes.
It's on YouTube.
And TikTok.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's one reason right there why UConn probably has a little advantage that Purdue doesn't have one of these shirts ever.
Yeah. Patriots
and
Super Bowl
I don't
next
know,
year too, huh?
Have you seen the UConn games? Like we haven't had a close game in like 2 years in a game of significance. Anyway, it was 23-23 against Illinois, and like 8 minutes of game time later, it was 53-23. So I think it'll be a good game. I think Purdue's a valid, worthy opponent, but
Going down.
as it stands right now, it ain't gonna happen.
I mean, Purdue's got that guy. I don't remember his name. Number 15. He's just he's just a rebound machine. Like literally, he just goes like this, and the ball's in his hand because he's like 10 feet tall.
We got a guy too that's like 7'2" as well. So
I haven't seen any. I only watch basketball during March Madness, pretty much. So I haven't.
To be
seen
fair,
much
so do I.
UConn. Oh. Back in my day, it was Syracuse and Duke. Who's this UConn and Purdue?
Back in my day.
I should root for Purdue. I lived in Indianapolis for a year and a half.
Yeah.
But I'll root against anything New England sports. So.
Wow.
Bring it.
Something tip I got from Bryant. I wanted to tell him. I got a silicone wedding band for when I get married.
They're great.
I tried it on. I'm like, I could get used to this.
Maybe I should do that because are they like more comfortable? Like
the primary reason that Brian explained to me was like you don't have to worry about losing it. You don't have to worry about taking it off from metal detectors at parks. You don't have to worry about loose articles. It's just kind of peace of mind, and they're cheap. They're like $10.
mine.
Yeah, I just for travel purposes, I switched back and forth between the real one and this one now, but
I'm gonna be getting a black band tattooed, but I don't want to get that tattooed right before I go on to Orlando and then on a cruise because sun and water and stuff.
Mm.
So I'm like, I'll get the silicone one. I'll wear that until I get the tattoo, probably over the winter after travel season's done.
I broke my wedding band and I'm still salty about it.
Oh, how?
It was it got caught on something when I was doing something manual and it busted. It just
at least it broke
snapped.
the ring and didn't rip your finger off.
Yes, I know that could have been a lot worse, but it still annoyed me because those are expensive. All right, this is my favorite question. It's Kyler from Station Weight asks,
my lovely fiance, everybody.
Does he like bears? Does he? Do you like bears?
Do you like bears?
just me.
Yes.
Yeah, just you.
So weirdly, despite being a semi-frequent hiker, and I've been to a variety of national parks, I've never seen a bear in the wild.
I mean, that's probably a good
I'm
thing.
okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but only zoos. Yeah, bears are cuddly. I like bears.
What kind of bear is best?
Black bear.
That's debatable.
No, I think that's the safe answer, actually. That's the one that's not going to kill you, most likely.
Yeah, they run away. You just gotta yell at them.
They can climb pretty good, though.
What's your... Ooh, I don't want to see a bear in the wild. I just don't want to.
But just once. I want to see.
Maybe, yeah, like from a distance. Maybe. What? Oh, wait. Taylor, what does this say? Hawk Vanderlei. Is that it?
Hawk Vanderlei.
Hawk Vanderlei says, what's your least favorite spinning coaster?
Ooh.
I've only been on 3.
3?
You would have to think about this.
What 3 have you been on?
I've been on Sierra Sidewinder, Wild Mouse, and Tsunami.
I've been on
You
Wild
didn't ride
Mouse, Laugh
No, I didn't
Track,
ride
Tsunami.
Laugh
and Mine's
I've
Tsunami.
been on.
Mine's Tsunami.
I've been on. I think it's called Shredder at American Dream, or is that Ripper? The one at American.
Shredder.
Shredder and Wild Mouse and Laugh Track, I think might be the only ones I've been on. In that case, I'll probably say Wild Mouse. Not that it's bad; it's just worse than the other two. Yeah.
But Wild Mouse has a banger soundtrack.
It does. I like Wild Mouse.
Did it have a soundtrack when we were there?
With Hawk Vanderlei.
I don't remember. It was probably broken.
Yeah, I don't remember it having a soundtrack.
Bryant, what's your least favorite spinning?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever been on a truly awful one. Offhand, I guess I have to say Primeval Whirl, the defunct one at Animal Kingdom.
I forgot about that
I
thing.
didn't even know
that was.
I didn't ride it, but
Okay.
Yeah, let's go with Primeval Whirl.
Well, there you go. The least favorite spinning coasters. Well, usually when we start getting ready to wrap up here, we'll ask everybody a question. But before we do that, I want to give everybody here where can people find you, Bryant? Where can they see your content? And
5 on YouTube and Twitter, and Coaster_365 on Instagram.
Oh, having to do that underscore is the worst. Like when somebody already took on.
I like
platform.
DMs the guy. He has no followers. His name's Carl.
he won't give it to you.
No,
Carl.
Have you reached out to Instagram? And because I've heard success where people like reach out to the platform and they're like, "This account is inactive. They haven't done anything. Can I have it, please?"
I think I tried, and it was like, I don't know, it was some like Mark Zuckerberg bullshit. I don't know.
Mark Zuckerberg bullshit.
Too lazy for it. It's fine.
That's fair. The man who travels all over the world and makes a video every day is too lazy to reach out to Instagram.
Listen, I'm a Taurus. We're either all in or we're not at all. There's no in between.
Fair.
Are you going to Dollywood for Lightning Rod Coaster Crew? I forget.
Weekend I will not be. No, we will be. Megan and I will be in Vermont for both her birthday and the solar eclipse.
Oh,
cool.
I'll be that. I'll be doing that in Buffalo. Path of Totality, baby.
How's the weather looking in your area for that, Josh?
Right now, sunny, no clouds that day allegedly. But
same for us.
it's Buffalo, so
yeah, I'm hoping to be able to see it. All right, Taylor, how do the question rules? Is it I have to ask everybody a question?
You ask everybody
right.
a question, then somebody will ask you a question.
This is Taylor. I think you invented this, right?
No, Josh invented this.
I think I did.
Oh, Josh invented it. I'm sorry, Josh. All right, let's see. Taylor, what's your favorite brand of candy?
Brand or type? Because I feel like Hershey is a brand.
Okay, yeah. No, not like that. Like, what's your favorite type? Like,
that's actually kind of weirdly a hard question because I'm very like weird about my candies and stuff.
I had some Dr. Pepper Peeps a few weeks ago.
I don't like Peeps, but I really want to try those because I love. I don't have
Peeps either.
No.
I have my Dr. Pepper shirt on.
I see.
You're just gonna be disappointed if you try those.
Yeah,
I saw something this week that said Dr. Pepper is just cola mixed with root beer.
No, it's 23 blended flavors.
Yeah, so is.
I love how you know so much
argue.
about such specific things.
You know what else is 23 blended flavors?
What, Josh?
My fists.
A million things I can buy off the shelf. That doesn't mean it doesn't taste like other things.
Okay.
I was
don't
also going
care.
to say dog crap, but I didn't. Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
you wait.
So
What is it? I need to know.
I'm gonna go with a Crunch Bar. I really like Crunch Bars, but like I don't know. I also really like Sour Patch Kids.
Those are both good answers.
They
I
are both
respect
good
that.
answers. Let's see, Josh. What is I'm going anti-coaster today.
Yeah, I like it.
What is your favorite movie released within the last year?
Last year?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Dune 2 yet. I've heard that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oppenheimer was good. Barbie was good. 1 second. Let me see what I saw within the last year. Go to Bryant real quick.
Okay, all right. Brian, what is your, if you have one, what is your like comfort show? Like the one that you'll just go through?
Ooh. I'm not really too much of a binger. I would have to say my favorite TV show of all time. It's been a while since I've rewatched it, but Lost.
Lost is great.
Lost
that was
is
such
really
a great
good.
experience while it was going on.
I didn't watch it live. I had like a one summer class I had to take my junior year of college, which lined up with like between season 5 and season 6. So I just watched the first 5 seasons, like just crushed it in 3 weeks. Obsessed. And then I watched the final season live.
Yeah.
So I had a different perspective on it. I didn't get involved with like the week to week like theories.
It was fun.
I know.
I have all the movies I saw here in the last year. So really quickly, I'm just gonna scroll through them all and give them a tier rating.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Across the Spider-Verse, S tier. Little Mermaid remake, C tier. The Flash, F of all F tiers. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. It's a strong A+ tier. Barbie is a strong A+. Oppenheimer is an S. Gran Turismo was actually an S. I really enjoyed Gran Turismo.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It was fun.
The Marvels was C, and the new Hunger Games was probably a weak A to a strong B.
Oh, okay, that's better than I expected. Okay, all right. Who wants to ask me a question?
Taylor, do you have one on deck?
I do actually have one because I was thinking this whole time.
Okay,
Larry, if you were going to go on eBay and spend an exorbitant amount of money, what would you buy?
Ooh,
it's a good question.
Man, I mean, I know it's going to be something dumb.
Can I buy a roller coaster on eBay?
Probably could.
You know what? It would probably be some kind of like arcade machine of some kind.
Ooh, I have a
like
couple
that.
saved.
Yeah, it would be something like that.
I like that. That's
I
a
could
good
buy
answer.
a Terran wheel for $250.
You buy what?
A wheel from Terran.
Nah, it wouldn't be a wheel from Terran. It would definitely be. It would be some crazy like arcade machine that would be like $5,000, something like that.
I like
That's
it.
fair.
It's a good answer.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right. Well, that covers it for us. Thank you guys for sticking with us tonight. And you know what we say around here? Orion's a giga.
Orion's a giga.
Quad down.
Brian.
Out.
Quad down. Out.